everyone, this is Rick Prokop at Piano Power Lessons. Today I'm going to be demonstrating 4 melodic lines, 2 of which will use the chord B7 as its 5 chord, and the other 2 which will use its tritone substitute F7 as its 5 chord. So first let's take a look at the E major scale, which is E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. And if we build a 7th chord on the 2nd step of the scale, we have F sharp, A, C sharp, E, which is known as F sharp minor 7th. And within that same scale, if we build a chord on the 5th step of the scale, we have B, D sharp, F sharp, A, which is called B7th, or our 5-7 chord, or our dominant 7th chord. And then our 1 chord will be E major 7th, which is E, G sharp, B, D sharp, and we might throw in a C sharp to make it an E 6th chord. So first practice these 3 chords in root position. F sharp minor 7th, come up to B 7th, and then down to E major 7th, and then E 6th. Okay? All right, now instead of going from one root position to another root position, let's make it a little more economical. So we can just play the F sharp minor 7th, and now lower the top 2 notes to the B and the D sharp of the B7th chord. So we have the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. Remember, the 5th and the 7th was up here originally in the B7th. So now it's down here as a part of the F sharp minor 7th, right? That preceded the 2nd inversion B7th chord. And now from there, we go to E major 7th by just lowering the bottom 2 fingers to E and G sharp. So let's try that a couple of times. F sharp minor 7th, 2 chord. B7th 2nd inversion, 5 chord, 5-7 chord. E major 7th, 1 chord. And then we'll use E6 at some point. So being that all of these chords are in the key of E, all of the notes of E sound pretty nice. But when I play the B7th chord in my left hand and then play an E major scale beginning on B here, I get a clash when I get to this 4th note. And there's a real dynamic clash there with the D sharp of the B7th. And we can remedy that by just lifting the E up to an E sharp. And now it's a much more pleasant sound. So this E sharp is actually the sharp 11 of, if we have a B7th fundamentally, and then add a 9th, and then add, here's the 11th, which doesn't sound good, so we sharp that, and then we have a nice sounding chord. And then once we incorporate this note into our mixolydian scale, it's now called the B altered mixolydian scale, and it offers some new possibilities for us harmonically. For instance, we could play B, we could play C sharp major, and in all the different inversions, and it sounds really great. So the first example is going to use this altered mixolydian scale, actually the first 2 examples. So let's have a listen. So let's break this line down a little bit. I begin on what looks like a C sharp minor 7th chord, but it's really an extension of an F sharp minor 11th chord. So this seeming C sharp minor 7th is a subset of F sharp minor 11th. So we begin with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and there's your F sharp minor chord then. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, as far as playing this, I'd just like you to try this. 1 and 2 and 3, and just stop. And we're coming down on the thumb here. 1 and 2 and then down on this F sharp. 1 and 2 and 3. And then from this F sharp, we're going to pick up and drop on this A. So we have 1 and 2 and 3, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now we're going to use 4th finger. Down, up, down, down. Let's try that again. 1. Okay, so this is a low point. Now from this point, we play B major triplets. Then first inversion, second inversion, and finish on F sharp octave. We're going to use 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 5 for the octave. All right, here's our next example. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the melody begins on what looks like an A major 7th descending, but it's really the top part of an F minor 9th. Okay, so we have that. Then we go to, we've already seen the C sharp minor in the context of F sharp minor. And then we go all the way up to this D sharp with our 5th finger, come down with the 3rd finger, and then 4th finger, okay, and I'll go over all the moves now, ups and downs. Okay, the first thing I want you to try to do is up, down, up, down, up. Up, down, up, down, up. Now the same thing goes on in the next section. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so from here, we're high on the D sharp, and then 3rd finger on C sharp. We go down, up, down, up, down, up. Down, up with 4, 3, down, down. Okay, now from here it's down, up, down, up. So watch that last part again. All right, the next 2 examples are going to be using the tritone substitute of B7th. And that tritone substitute is going to have the same tritone as B7th, And it's going to be analyzable in terms of B, even though it doesn't look like a B7th. So if I bring this B7th in root position up to first inversion, and then add a ninth up here, and then with my left hand I'll put a B down here, so I have the root, the third, the fifth, the seventh, and the legitimate ninth, okay? And this resolves to E as a 5-1 progression. Well, a B7th with a flat 9 also resolves to E. And a B7th with a flat 9 and a flat 5 also resolves to E. But if we look at this chord now in the right hand, wow, it looks like an F7th in third inversion, right? F, A, C, E flat. Put the E flat down here. And here's the B tritone. So this tritone works for both B and for F. So put the F down here. So here it's the third and the seventh. If I put an F in the bass, this is the seventh and the third. It's the same tritone. So F7th is analyzable in terms of B. Therefore, it's some kind of B7th and it resolves to an E. Well, if we encounter an F7th in a song, it's usually functioning as 5 of something. In this case, it would be the 5/7 of B flat. And we would play the B flat scale over it. And that sounds really nice. And since we're starting the B flat scale on its 5th step, this is called F mixolydian. And then we have the same old problem when we get up to the B flat, that this doesn't gel well with the A of the F7th chord. So what we can do is raise the B flat to a B natural. And now we have an F altered mixolydian scale. And that produces some new harmonic possibilities. So we can have F major, G major, then F and G in its inversions, and they sound really nice. For our next two melodic examples, we're going to be using F sharp minor 7th as the 2 chord, and an F7th, a seeming F7th, we've already analyzed in terms of a B7th, and this will be functioning as our replacement for B7th, the 5 chord, and then we'll resolve that to E major 7th, and then use E6. So let's take a look at the new lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's look at the line going up, these 2 octaves. So what we're doing on this F sharp minor chord, we're coming in on and 2, and 3, and 4, and all I'm doing is going up an E major scale, starting on F sharp. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now I have the F7th, so I'm going to use the altered mixolydian, and it's very apparent here. See? So here we go, E, okay. Fingerings I'd recommend is starting on 2. Now watch this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 again, and we end on the 4th finger. Now coming down, we're going to use alternating B major triads right here and E major triads. And we're going to play those as 16th notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. All right, and the wrist motions going up are very simple. It's 1, down, up, 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 down, up. Okay, so let's just end there. And then the E chord's going to come in on when we start the descent with the triads. All right, we're up on this F sharp here. And what we're going to do is come down these triads, and I would recommend using 1, 2, and 4 for the B chord, and then 1, 2, and 4 for the E. So always using 1, 2, and 4. And after playing this F sharp, that's where the E chord's going to come down when we hit this D sharp here of the B triad. So as far as wrist moves go, so we're up, down, up, up, down, up, 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 down, up, 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 down, up, 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 down, up, up, up. And there we'll use the E6th on that final note. And if you've been following any of the John Thompson lessons that I've been giving, I've brought up the concept of physical groups. I haven't fully explained it yet, but here's an example of physical groups. Here's one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. And all of the physical groups are beginning with the thumb with a down motion, and then the action of the fingers following the thumb pull the wrist up. And that, in essence, is a physical group, which I will explain in much more detail in a future lesson. All right, an interesting thing is, even though we're doing these physical groups where we come down on the thumb, I still want you to accent the second finger on the strong beats. So we have this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So what you're doing, this is a low wrist, but you're swinging this finger around and blasting this note. See? Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And you're hitting that note with a nice flat finger. Now, this might be difficult for you if you don't have a good fourth finger, but, you know, just work it out slowly, and it takes a long time to develop your fingers. All right, the next one's a lot of fun. It uses a combination of triads and scales. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, as we go up this line, what I'm doing here is outlining some of the triads in an F sharp minor 11th chord, which contains an A major, a C sharp minor, and an E major, but I'm only using the A major part and the E major part. Now after I get to here, I'm on the F7th chord, and I'm going to be using the F9th chord, and I'm going to use this little triad here, the A diminished triad, that's within that, and the C minor triad, that's within that. So all together we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, okay? And if you noticed, for all of these triads, we'll be using 1, 2, and 4. It just makes it a lot easier. There's a lot less thought going on then. You don't want to be thinking about fingers. And if you can repeat fingers, it's all the better. Let's take a look at the scale that's coming down on that F7th chord. So we have... So it's triplets. So the first group is a group of 4, using 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then another group of 4. And that brings us to our second finger here. All right, so here we go again. 2, 3, 4, 1. And from there, we're going up a chromatic scale. So we have 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. All right, let's see how we'd use our wrists now to group notes together and swing eighth notes. So with the triplets, we have 1, drop, 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 drop. So that's a down, up, down, up, down, up. And for this chromatic scale going up, we're going to treat that as a whole group. This will be the low point, and 1, and 2, and. So this is down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up. Well, that's it for today. That should give you a lot to practice and a lot to work on. And I hope to see you next time, and just want to thank you for joining me once again. And have a great day. Take care now.